when people say that this is the year of exposure, they ain't lying. Okay, they're not lying. People are getting exposed left and right. I'm talking about celebrities, public figures, politicians, whatever you want to call it. People are getting exposed. The truth is coming out, and it's making some people uneasy. I'm definitely uneasy about it because, you know, these are some of the people that we talk about. These are my faves. So songwriter Tiffany Red calls out Beyonce and several other artists, but mainly she was mainly talking about Beyonce for not properly giving the publishing rights to her writers, making them sign NDAs so they don't complain, and basically taking a good percentage of publishing away from these writers. Right now, the songwriter Tiffany Red, she has not worked with Beyonce. She has essentially become a mouthpiece of the writers that have been complaining but can't say nothing because they've signed these NDA forms by Beyonce. So I'm going to share, like, you know, which she said, because she got on live and she went on a whole rant. Okay, I'm going to play a good amount of it. It's like a 14-minute video. We're not going to do a whole 14 minutes. Now, this video might be 14 minutes, but I'm not going to play 14 minutes of what she had to say. A lot of y'all have already seen it, but I'm just going to jog y'all memories. Okay, so here's what she had to say.
Almost every record that I have done, I have written when the artist was not in the room. I'll go through my own songs. Replay. Zendaya got 10% of the publishing, I think. She did not write on the song. She didn't. That song was written at a Rihanna song camp. It was on hold for Rihanna. Then it was on hold for Rita Ora. Famous came to me and said, yo, Tiff, there's this artist named Zendaya. We should cut Replay on her. So Zendaya got publishing and writer credit. She did not write on Replay. King by Tamar Braxton. I wrote and produced that song. I wrote that song for myself as an artist. In my living room, Tamar got, I don't know what she ended up getting. I think I own like 85% of that song. But I should own all of it because I did all of it. Seven Streeter, who's a songwriter. This one really hurt my heart. Seven Streeter, just being honest.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When she brought up Seven Streeter, I'm like, I thought Seven Streeter was a songwriter. Like, she used to write for a lot of artists and stuff like that. So I'm like, that's crazy. But we'll continue.
Me and Mansour did that song. It was originally called Bitch. I wrote that song by myself. I'm not even really a big co-writer like that. I prefer writing songs by myself because, I don't know, I just prefer to write like that. So I have a lot of records that I have placed that either have one co-writer on or that I've written solo dolo, right? Seven ended up with 10% of that record. I fought like hell for her to not have any of the publishing because she didn't write anything on it. Publishing is my only source of income. And by the way, none of the artists that I've mentioned have a career anything close to in music Beyonce. None of them do. But the reason why I'm bringing up my experience with every artist or almost every artist that I've worked with that has taken publishing that they did not earn on the songs that I wrote for them is because there is a precedent that's set. The reason why I called out Beyonce is because Beyonce is the Michael Jackson of our generation. And so if there's anybody that could reshape the precedent, if there's anybody that could influence the industry, that had the power and the money and the cultural thing to say, you know what, y'all, you're right. These songwriters have been out here. We've been in the street, literally. I have been in the street in front of Spotify. I've been in front of Universal. I have sat and I have talked to all y'all publishers. I've talked to y'all publishers. I talked to the DSPs. I talked to the copyright royalty, the U.S. Copyright Office. I talked to NMPA. I talked to RIAA. I talked to SONA. I talked to NSAI. I talked to all of them. And guess what? Y'all are still broke. Okay? That's the fucking truth, right? Okay? So the people that are like, oh, this is not true. I had somebody call it propaganda yesterday. It's not fucking propaganda. The reality is there is no A-list artist, B-list artist, or C-list artist that's not taking publishing, because that is the way the music industry works. And to deny that is delusional. And what I will not allow is for anybody to make me feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone, because I know I'm not in the Twilight Zone. I can pull up my records. I talked to somebody yesterday. Somebody's a manager of somebody who is a writer and producer on Renaissance. Okay? The record is one of y'all faves. The song was written 6 years before it got to Beyonce. She got 25% of the song. I've talked to another writer who wrote and sang on one of your favorite songs. Credit not right, all kind of shit fucked up. His business still isn't handled. Beyonce was on tour last year with that record, with that person's vocals, all that.
Ooh, girl. Not the vocals, too.
I'm not crazy. And here's the thing. The reason why people who work for Beyonce don't talk is because they're all on NDAs. Because that's also how she works. She silences people so that nobody can speak. I'm not a writer that's written for Beyonce. I haven't shot my shot at Beyonce because I'm not willing to give her any publishing. Not because I haven't had the opportunity. I've had the opportunity to work with everybody. And I've turned down a lot of stuff because I'm not willing to play these games. There's a massive power dynamic happening. Please don't act like it's easy to negotiate with Beyonce and her team, because it is not. If that was the case, there would not be so many people coming to me like, Tiff, this is how much was taken. Shit is not negotiable. It's not. These are the terms, which means, okay, cool, then we work for you, Beyonce. So that means you're an employer. But either way, to imply that the artists do not have to be responsible for the business practices that they exercise with songwriters, to insinuate that the only way you are treated fairly is if you are managed by one of the gatekeepers is bullshit. It's bullshit. You shouldn't have to be in company with a gatekeeper to be treated fairly. You should not have to have a gatekeeper on your team to make a livable wage off of music that is making people billionaires.
Okay.
Them Grammys don't pay the bills.
So yeah, and she goes into the Grammys, and then she starts to talk about, because I'm gonna cut it here, but she starts to talk about how, oh well, you know, Jay-Z complained about Beyonce not getting the album of the year. Well, the people are not voting for Beyonce because people that have the voting rights for the Grammys are probably writers too, and they're not voting for Beyonce, which is the reason why she's not getting album of the year. Of course, we also can talk about racial discrepancies and how they will give Taylor Swift a Grammy album of the year if for anything, right? But that's besides the point. I want to get into her main topic. So she did get into how music publishing, like a lot of the publishing of a lot of songs are giving like to the artists. Now, I will say this, and that's why I'm saying I'm going to continue to ride the fence. I said this on my TikTok. I'm gonna say it here. I think that to a certain extent, for you to place the blame on one artist when there's a machine behind them doing all the checks and balances, there's managers, there's different people that's, you know, allocating funds to this and saying, oh, this person gets 13% of that, or this person gets 15% of that, or whatever the case is. I don't think everything should be blamed on the artist. And I'm not even just talking about Beyonce, right? When she talked about Zendaya, when she talked about, you know, as young as Zendaya was when Replay came out, like, this girl was a child. So I would not expect her to be like, hey, these writers need to get paid and they need to get recognized. I mean, this girl is just doing her job. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think that the blame should 100% be on the artist. Now, when we're talking about somebody like Beyonce has been around for a minute. She knows the game. She knows how things are. And I think that she should, and definitely after this situation, should advocate for her writers to get paid more, because at the end of the day, if this story is going to keep on coming out, who's going to write for you? I'm saying this to a lot of artists. Who's going to write for you? If they're getting paid like this, we done seen what happened over there in Hollywood. They're going on strikes. Singers, do y'all want this to happen to you? Because I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of y'all, we don't want to hear what y'all have to say. Okay, we want someone to write for y'all because some of y'all can't write. I'm just saying, I'm no shade. I'm just saying. So I think that two things could be true at the same time, right? I think that artists should definitely advocate for their writers to get paid more. Hopefully Beyonce sees this and she, you know, recognizes that, hey, maybe we can give some more, allocate some more funds to the writers. I mean, I also think that in this climate, right? The Impressive Channel talked about this as well. When we are talking about music nowadays, music is not making a lot of money, right? They're not making a lot of money. Their streams is not paying bills. Okay, these artists are getting most of their money from tours. Okay, live shows, right? So artists are going to find any and every way to try to milk the system so they can get money from the songs that they release, because not every artist is really going on tour like that. Let's be very clear. We know Beyonce is, so, you know, I think that being that she made over what, 570 plus thousand at the tour, she definitely can allocate funds to her writers. And I think that we kind of missed the mark there. I will give that, I'll give that to Beyonce. Like, she missed the mark there. But I don't know about the other artists. The other artists are not really in control of everything, you know? So, and also, I'm going back and forth with a lot of things, but I hope y'all following along. But when we're talking about the artists that are kind of complaining, and the Impressive Channel really hit on this too, y'all signed the contract. Y'all, and I know Tiffany will sit there and say, oh, it's hard to negotiate. Y'all, you can say no. You can say no. Anybody saying, you know, I know I said in my TikTok video, it's going to have to start, people going to have to start breaking their NDAs. I mean, that's definitely on the table, but at the end of the day, y'all can also say no too. You know, you knew what was going on. You took it because you want that you want that in your resume that you wrote for Beyonce, that you worked with Roc Nation and all that. That is good on paper, but it's not like Tiffany said, it's not paying you bills. So my thing is this, y'all are actively working with her, but then complaining behind closed doors. You took the pickle juice. Let's be very clear. That's a thing too. Like I said, both things could be true at the same time. I think that is wrong. Because I am a worker. I am the working class. Okay, and I know exactly how it feels to not be paid what you are worth. Okay, I 100% understand it. It's either going to take people to start, you know, breaking these NDAs, or enough writers saying, you know what, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not writing for that. I'm not allowing you to take this amount from what I made. We getting paid pennies. I know a thing about getting paid pennies. Okay, I'm a small social media content creator. I know exactly what it is. You put your all into the content that you create, and you see half of it, not even half sometimes. So I kind of am torn, and I felt like Beyonce missed the mark. I think that this Tiffany girl, we're going to need some more receipts. You know, we're going to need some more receipts. I think this conversation needs to keep happening. But you didn't work with Beyonce. So I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm going to stay on the fence. So y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. I think this is an interesting conversation. I think that this is not the last of us hearing about this. And I do think more conversation of this need to happen. And I think that Beyonce, for her next album, I hope she's listening to all, I'm not saying listen to my video, whatever. She probably don't even see me, but I'm just saying, like, maybe the other bigger videos, and even listening to Tiffany, for your next album, let's make those changes. I'm just saying. All right, but tell me what y'all think in the comments. I'll see y'all next time.